Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all people from all around the world. So, hi everyone, welcome to this channel. In this video, we're diving into a thought-provoking movie from 2024 called We Live in Time, starring Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh. If you're into films that make you reflect on life, relationship, and how we experience time, this one is definitely worth to talk about. I'm going to break down the movie in four main parts: the characters, Tobias and Almet, the themes, the cultural elements, and the social issues. So let's get started.
Hey, somebody come get her, she dancing like a stripper. Hey, somebody come get her, she dancing like a stripper.
Okay, so for the first discussion, We Live in Time is a heartwarming yet bittersweet romantic drama that explores the love story of Tobias and Almet, portrayed by Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh. One of the first things that really stood out to me in We Live in Time is how the relationship between Tobias and Almet unfolds. It begins in such an unexpected, almost unconventional way. I mean, it's not your typical love at first sight story. Instead, it is messy, really messy, and a bit unpredictable, I would say. Right from the start, their meeting feels like it's not something that was meant to happen in the perfect way, and that sets the stage for the kind of romance this movie wants to explore. In a way, this meeting symbolizes the entire film, which is nothing is perfect, but everything could happen. Everything is real, and this feeling of realness really stays with you throughout the film. They have this raw, genuine connection, but it's not with its complications. That's what makes the relationship feel so authentic. It's not, I would say, it's not always easy, and let's be honest, love isn't always easy, right? Okay, now, what's really interesting about this film, it's actually told through a non-linear narrative. You know, if you if you're not familiar with the term non-linear storytelling, means the film doesn't go in a straight line from start to finish. Instead, it jumps around, showing us important moments from Tobias and Almet's lives at different points in time. We get to see their relationship from a bunch of different angles, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. You know, the scene is just jumps over and over and over to another scene. So that's what they call non-linear storytelling. This way of storytelling adds so much depth. It's like piecing together a puzzle where each scene adds another layer to the story, revealing something new about their connection. For example, we see the joy and excitement of their early days. There's this really beautiful anticipation as they look forward to becoming parents. That feeling of hope and happiness is something we can all relate to, especially when you're embarking on a big new chapter in life. But then, the movie doesn't shy away from the tough parts of their relationship either. We also witness Almet's battle with illness, and it's gut-wrenching. There's a powerful scene where she's dealing with her health struggles, and you can see how it takes a toll on both of them. And then, what I love about this is that the film doesn't just gloss over the hardship. It really shows the weight of these challenges and how they affect not just Almet but Tobias as well. It's moments like this where the non-linear narrative really shines. We just don't get a one-dimensional view of their relationship. Instead, we see how the struggles and joys are intertwined. The movie blends moments of deep emotion and intimacy with reflection on time, growth, and the changing nature of their bond. The highs feel even more powerful because we've seen the lows, obviously, and the lows are easier to bear because we've seen how strong their connection is. Throughout the film, we are reminded of something we all know but don't always want to think about. Human connections are fragile. We can't control what happens to us or the people we love, but we can choose how to respond, how we hold on, and how we adapt when life throws challenges our way. Tobias and Almut teach us this lesson, even if it's not easy for them to learn, where we could just adapt to the reality. And that's what the movie is about. This journey of navigating the highs and lows of life, and how love, in all its messiness, is something that can endure despite everything. The passion is there, the challenges are there, but so is the commitments. It's a love story that isn't just about being happy all the time. It's about growing together, facing tough situations, and finding a way through as a team. It's that balance between passion and struggle that makes their bond so beautiful. It's not about avoiding conflicts or pretending everything's perfect instead. It is about what you do when things aren't easy and how you learn and grow from those moments. That's the real heart of We Live in Time, how love evolves and endures as we move through life's journey. So, while it's definitely a romantic film, it is also a film about so much more than that. It's about navigating the passage of time with someone by your side and how the most unexpected moments can shape the path of our life together. The non-linear storytelling engaged because it keeps us guessing, keeps us emotionally connected, and honestly, the way it shows us Tobias and Almut's relationship over time with all its up and down gives it this richness that you don't see in romance films. So, if you're someone who enjoys movies that make you think about love in a deeper way, this is definitely one to check out. Alright, next, let's talk about the two main characters. First is Tobias, played by Andrew Garfield, and the second is Almut, played by Florence Pugh. These two characters are really the heart of the film. They are both dealing with their own struggle, but in very different ways. Tobias is this guy who's really caught up in the stress of time. He's always thinking about the future, what comes next, how much time he has left, and whether he's doing the right things. It's almost like he's racing against the clock. Like, bro, you don't even need to worry. Andrew Garfield does a brilliant job of portraying Tobias's internal struggle. You see, he's got this nervous energy and you can feel how much he's wrestling with himself, trying to control something that's beyond him. He's a thinker, constantly worrying about running out of time. Okay, now, Almut is the opposite in a lot of ways. She is free-spirited and seems to be much more in the moment. Florence Pugh really brings Almut to life. You can tell that she's not as concerned with time in the same way Tobias is. Instead of worrying about the future, Almut embraces the present. She's comfortable with who she is, even though she too has her own set of struggles. The contrast between the two characters is fascinating. They balance each other out in such an interesting way. What I absolutely love about the characters in We Live in Time is that they're both deeply flawed, and that's what makes them feel so real. We often see this perfect idealized version of characters in movies, but here we get two people who feel like they could walk right out of the screen and into our own lives. They're both trying to figure things out just like the rest of us, you know. And there's Almut, who starts off with a much more relaxed view of time. She's grounded in the present, but as her life begins to change, she has to face her own struggles with illness and vulnerability. Her character is about accepting change and unpredictability of life, and watching her navigate these challenges, seeing her come to terms with her own fragility, is both heartbreaking and beautiful. But What makes their journey even more special is that it's not just about romantic love, it's about personal growth. As the film progresses, we watch both of them evolve. Tobias learns to lose his grips on the future, and Almut learns to confront the hard truths of her own reality. This journey isn't just about finding each other, it's about understanding themselves and how they fit into the bigger picture of their life. Okay, then before we move to the next section, let's talk about the performance for a second. Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh absolutely bring this character to life. You can see the weight of their struggle in every look, every moment of silence. Garfield's portrayal of Tobias with all his vulnerability and obsession is haunting, and Pugh, dang, she brings such depth to Almut, capturing both her strength and her fragility in the most heartbreaking way. Their chemistry is undeniable, but it's the depth of their performances that really elevate this film. You can feel emotional weight in every scene, and that's what makes this movie is truly special. Okay, so at the heart of We Live in Time is not just about romance, it's about journey of self-discovery and acceptance, and the characters' flaws, the growth, and the incredible performance make it all even more powerful. Alright, let's dive into one of the most powerful themes in We Live in Time, the theme of time itself. Now, time is something that impacts all of us. It's the invisible force that shapes our decisions, our relationships, and our lives. But the film takes a really interesting approach to exploring time, showing us how it can be both a source of stress and a source of meaning. At the center of this theme is Tobias. From the beginning, we see that he's absolutely obsessed with time. He's constantly checking the clock, worrying about the future, and asking himself, am I running out of time? It is almost like he's in a race, trying to check off all the boxes of life before it's too late. And honestly, I think this is something a lot of us can relate to. I mean, how often do we think about time as this ticking clock that's always moving forward, never going backward? And we feel this pressure to do more, be more, accomplish before we run out of time. In Tobias' case, his obsession with time is linked to his need for control. He wants to know what's next, to feel prepared for the future, but the movie shows us that no matter how much he tries to control time, it's something that's beyond him, and in many ways, that's his struggle throughout the film. He's trying to hold on to something that's constantly slipping through her fingers. Now, contrast that with Almut, who seems to have much more realized approach to time. In her world, the future is important, but it's not something she's constantly worrying about. Instead, she's more focused on the present moment, on experiencing life as it comes. Almut's character represents a different perspective on that, one that's more accepting of time's passage. She doesn't fight it, she doesn't try to control it, she lives it here and now. The contrast between Tobias and Almut really highlights two ways people often respond to time. We either obsess over it or we let it unfold naturally. Both of these perspectives are valid. But what the film makes clear is that no matter how we choose to deal with time, it's always in motion. Time doesn't stop, and we have to figure out how to live with it. Remember the saying, time is our enemies. Another layer of the theme of the time is the concept of change. As we move through life, we change, and the people around us also change. Tobias and Almut's relationships is full of growth, and not just as a couple, but as individuals. The movie explores how love evolves over time. When we meet someone, we might face obstacles that challenge the connection we share. But the film also shows us that those moments of change that love is tested, and it's through These challenges that we discover how strong that bond really is. For example, as Almut battles with illness, we see how Tobias responds. He goes from being a man obsessed with controlling the future to someone who has accepted the fragility of life and the uncertainty that comes with it. This shift in his character is deeply connected to the theme of time. Tobias is learning that time cannot be controlled, and that sometimes we have to embrace uncertainty and let go of the fear that time will slip away without us accomplishing what we hope. This theme of personal growth is really powerful throughout the film. Both characters grow, not just in their relationship, but in how they approach in time and learning to be more present. Almut's journey, on the other hand, is about accepting his challenges time brings and finding peace with the things he can't change. Okay, so for me, the theme of time in this film was really powerful because it's something I've thought a lot about myself, how time affects everything, and while Tobias and Almut's journey is unique, it's also something that's mirror a lot of our experiences. We all deal with the passage of time in different ways, but in the end, the most important things in how we choose to live with it. And yeah, okay, so let's now talk about the cultural side of the film. We Live in Time. It doesn't directly focus on a specific culture, but it subtly touches on how different people view time and success based on where they come from. There's this pressure that a lot of people feel about timing in life, whether it's career goals, marriage, or personal achievements. Society often sets these milestones that we're supposed to hit by certain ages, and if we haven't hit them by a certain time, it can feel like we've failed somehow. Tobias definitely feel these kind of pressures. He's constantly comparing himself to what society expects him to do, get things done, make progress, and so on and so on and so on. This is where the cultural element comes in. This societal pressure around time and success is something that many people can relate to. But Almut, she doesn't seem to care as much about what society expects. She's more focused on how she feels in the present moment, which in a way frees her from those external pressures. This contrast between them is one of the key elements that makes their relationship so engaging. This film touches on how the pressure achieved at certain times in life is a universal experience. It doesn't just apply to one culture, it's something we all feel regardless of where we're from. Okay, so moving on to the social issues. This film explores, it's really about the pressure and expectation where Tobias feels his weight constantly. Society's idea of what success looks like and how we should measure our lives is something that really gets under his skin. A lot of us experience this, right? This idea that we should have our lives figured out by a certain age, getting the perfect job, having a relationship, checking off all the boxes, and if you're not there yet, it can feel like you're falling behind. Almut, though, takes a different approach. She shows us that it's okay to not have everything figured out, to go with the flow, and to trust that life will unfold as it means to. The contrast in their personalities brings out the central questions of the movie. Is it better to chase time or accept it as it is? Should we try to control it or should we just live through it? Through their journey, both Tobias and Almut experience personal growth. They teach each other valuable lessons. Tobias learns to let go of his constant worry about time, while Almut discovered that sometimes it's okay to plan for the future. Their growth reflects the idea that we don't have to be stuck in one way of thinking about time or success. Life is a process of learning, adapting, and understanding our place in the world. So in conclusion, We Live in Time is more than just a love story. It's a film about understanding how we relate to time and how we handle pressure, growth, and personal changes. The performances by Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh is absolutely incredible. Their chemistry really drives home the movie's message about living in the moment, dealing with societal pressures, and finding a balance between the present and the future. Okay, so thanks for watching, and if you have seen the movie We Live in Time, let me know in the comments below and make the comment section as a discussion for us to discuss even more. Okay, thank you for watching. Lah, udah ya.